Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of our College Credit webinar series. Today I am very happy to introduce Russ Bradberry. Russ is a DataStax MVP and is also the person who wrote the Helenus driver, which is the Node.js driver for Cassandra. And we have something a little bit different today, that Russ is actually going to do a live walkthrough of how to build your first Node.js application on Cassandra. So without further ado, actually one little housekeeping item. We will save questions for the end of this presentation. So as usual, there are two ways to ask questions. You can use the WebEx Q&A panel, and also you can ask questions via Twitter, Cassandra QA. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Russ. Thanks for being with us today, Russ.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is Russ Bradberry. I'm the principal architect at SimpleReach. Today I'm going to be walking through how to create your first Node.js app with Cassandra. Let me just share my screen here.
So Russ, there may be a little lag time while you share your desktop.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know when attendees can see it. So you're looking for the desktop show? Go under.
I found now.
Okay. Great. We can see your desktop.
Okay, so now that all is in order. So the first thing we're going to need to do when creating a Node.js Cassandra app is to install Express. While this is installing, I like to say this is assuming that you have Node.js and Cassandra both installed and running locally. Now that Express is installed.
Hey Russ, sorry to break in here, but can you speak up a bit?
Absolutely. Now that Express is yeah, no problem. Now that Express is installed, I'm going to create our Express application. When you create the Express application, it creates a whole lot of boilerplate files for creating your Node application. We're going to go into that directory we just created and start up our text editor. So the first thing we're going to need to do in creating the application is to specify Helenus as the driver. Like Christian said, I wrote the Helenus driver and I do currently maintain it. And we do allow community involvement if you'd like to get involved in helping to create to help better the driver itself. So we're going to specify Helenus 0.6.0, and then we're going to go into our application file. Now the application file has a lot of configurations and sets up the application itself. So here is what we're going to do is we're going to actually require Helenus and then we're going to create our connection pool. In our connection pool, we're going to specify three main parameters. The first parameter is going to be the hosts. Hosts is just a list of nodes that you want to connect to. These are the Cassandra nodes. It's important to remember that when using Cassandra, what you want to do is you want to connect to as many, if even all, nodes as possible to ensure that the load of the request gets balanced properly. The second, we're going to specify the key space. here, I've already set up my key space and called it webinar. If you'd like to see how to set up the key space in column family, you can go to the GitHub source code, which is posted for this on my GitHub profile, DevDazed. The third is going to be the CQL version. Since we're using the latest version of Cassandra, we're going to specify the CQL version as 3.0. Now that our pool is set up, what we want to do is we want to open a connection. We do this by calling the connect method and passing in a callback function. The callback function will pass an error if it has trouble connecting. So if we have an error, what we want to do is we want to make sure that it gets sent to the application. We don't want the application to actually start up until we've successfully connected to Cassandra, so we're going to make sure that all that happens inside the callback. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to make our Cassandra connection pool available to the rest of the application by setting a connection variable. So now that we have our application set up here, what we're going to do is we're going to add some routes. The first route is going just to be our index, and that's going to be a get. The second route we are going to specify is a post route. The post route is going to allow us to put new objects into our Cassandra database. And we're just going to specify routes.new. And a third is going to be a delete route, and that will be routes.delete. Now that our routes are set up, we can start creating them. So we're going to go into the index route, and as you can see, they have already specified for us one index route. We're going to go ahead and modify this. And what we want to do is we want to connect to our Cassandra pool by just getting the variable setting. And we're going to call CQL on this. The CQL that we're going to provide is going to be a select statement. Very similar to MySQL in this aspect. The CQL makes it really easy to go from a different database source into Cassandra. And we're just going to say select star from users. The first parameter that we pass to CQL is going to be the select statement, and the second parameter is going to be the callback. In the callback, it will pass back in just the standard Node.js style of an error and then the value you're expecting. So in this case, we're expecting users. We're going to specify it as users. And if we have an error, what we want to do is we want to ensure that error makes it to the application by calling next. And once we have our users back, we can render our view. I specify a title of users and specify the users variable as the users that we got back from Cassandra. So that's for our listing and our index, our listing of users. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to specify the new route. This is what's going to allow us to create users. In a new route, again, what we're going to do is we're going to specify our statement. In this case, it's going to be an insert statement. And much in the same way that a lot of drivers like MySQL and Postgres do in Node.js, we're going to use question mark replacement variables. So where's it? First name equals question mark, And here, we're going to specify our key, which is in the where clause. When using Cassandra update statements, if you use a where clause, it's going to use first the primary key, which is the key in Cassandra. Here, we're going to specify our parameters, which is going to be an array of items from first to last that will match up with the first question mark, the second question mark, and the third question mark. So here, we're going to access our body and get the parameters out. First name, so now we've specified our parameters. We're going to again access the Cassandra variable. And run the CQL. This time we're going to pass in the insert statement as the first parameter and the parameters as the second parameter, with the third parameter again being the callback. Since we're not concerned with the response here, we don't need to provide a secondary parameter from the callback. Again, if there's an error, we want to make sure it makes it to our application. And after which, we're just going to redirect to the listing page again. And last but not least, we're going to use the delete route. And this is going to be done in the same way. We're going to specify our remove, which is just delete. Again, where email, since email is our primary key, it's going to be specified there. And our params, again, we'll just access the body. And one more time, we will go ahead and access our Cassandra connection pool. And pass in parameters as the second parameter, and the third parameter, again, once again being our callback. We're going to pass the error up again, and one more time, we're going to just redirect to the home page if it's been successful. So now that we have our route set up, let's go ahead and take a look at our view. Our view is very basic here, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I have some pre-written code here that I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste so that you can keep this kind of short. You don't have to see me typing everything out. So now that we have our view in place, as you can see, it's a simple table with the first name, last name, and email. When using the Helenus driver, when you get back a result set, you use get on the result set with the name of the field and dot value. The reason why you do this is because the result set will return you back, with each field will return you back the name of the field, the value, as well as the timestamp that was created. So in this case, all we care about is the value, so we're going to be specifying those there. And here we specify miniform to access the delete methods. And down here is the form to add new users. So now that we've created our application, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to install our dependencies. You do this by just typing npm install at the root directory. Once all the dependencies have been installed, you can start the application. Looks like we have an error here, small slight comma. And bear with me while I fix some typos here. gosh. Okay, now that our server is listening, we can go access it. And as you can see here, we have our list. Let me make that bigger for you. We have our users, which is an empty list, and our form down here. So if we go ahead and add a user and click Add User, you can see that we like. Let me check my.
We have real-time troubleshooting as well. It's not a live demo if you don't get an error.
Yes. I have a.
But it worked great in rehearsal.
Yes. Okay, let's try this one more time. And as you can see, we've added our user foo bar, where the email is foobar.com. Let's go ahead and add another user. And we've added a user. And you can see here, we can remove the user here and remove this user if we'd like to. And that is how you would create your first app in Node.js and Cassandra. I'll open it up now for questions. Sorry, Christian, is there any questions?
Okay, let's look through here. Hold on. So we don't have any questions yet, but please go into your Q&A panel and start to ask your questions. One thing I wanted to just sort of preempt as a question, because we always get this one, and that is we always are asked for the slides and whether this there'll be a video of this webinar, and the answer is yes, and we will notify all the registrants and attendees when they are available, and that should be within 24 hours. We're trying to hit a rhythm where we get them out pretty quickly. Also, we have our next webinars scheduled. So we have one ready for the holiday season. Actually, I'm noticing that the next one is December 13th, and that will build on what we've done today, and we'll look at building your first Java application with Apache Cassandra. In January, we'll be talking about CEP, and that will be focused on Storm and Cassandra. And then on Valentine's Day, put it in your diaries. Do not miss. V is not for Valentine's Day, it's for vNodes, and that should be a very popular session as well. And again, if you would like to ask a question, then please use your Q&A tab, and I will read those out to Russ, and we'll tackle those. And Russ, I was thinking this is, you know, once we have the recording of this, we can also promote this through the Node.js community as well. So, Russ, where is the best place to go and download the Node.js driver?
The easiest is to do npm install Helenus.
Okay, great.
npm install Helenus. And additionally, you can go to github.com/SimpleReach/Helenus for the source code itself. And you can fork it and modify changes and submit pull requests.
And Russ, and I know you've done this for other people in the community who've had questions specifically around Node.js, but what's the best way to ask questions related to Helenus?
The best way to ask questions related to Helenus is to use our Google group. It's the name of the Google group is Helenus. Additionally, if it's a question that you'd rather not make public, you can email me directly, russ@simplereach.com, and I'd be glad to help.
Brilliant. Hopefully you don't get too many questions in your SimpleReach account. When you be careful what you wish for when you give out your email address. And another question from Dale. What are the advantages of using Node.js with Cassandra?
I think the advantages of using Node.js with Cassandra is that Node.js works really well with I/O bound.
Sorry, I think we lost you there. I/O bound.
Can you hear me? I apologize.
Yeah. Just dropped you just very briefly there. We lost you at I/O bound.
Okay, Node.js is great at I/O bound based I/O bound applications. The reason why is because while it's waiting on the I/O, it can do a few other things at the same time. This is great because you can make several requests to Cassandra. Let's say you're doing range queries. Instead of doing one large range query, you can break that up into 3 or 4 smaller range queries and get back a faster overall response than doing one very large range query.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, Russ, a light Q&A panel today. You got off easily. No real hardball questions for you. And thank you again for taking the time and talking to us about your Node.js driver.
Thank you.
And meet us back here on December 13th for the next one, which is building your first Java application. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.